Welcome back, everybody. I'm ready to start building the wee shed. As you can see, I have all the lumber here. Well, I have nowhere near all the lumber. This is just most of the 2x4s. I only could get two 2x10s. The rest of the 2x10s they had was basically garbage. So I'll just head out in the morning and grab the rest. Now, before I lay the lumber down, I'm gonna lay it right here on the, try to find the flattest surface you have, but since I built the deck now, I can lay it right here. If you have it strapped down, you'll get less warping. Regardless, you're gonna get it at the end of the day. But if you can help prevent just a little bit of it, then go ahead. So right now, the goal is to get all this out of the truck and on the deck. Bam, just like that. And let's start setting up our work area. And bam. As you can see, when I last left off, I had painted the plywood here. So starting from today, I need to start hitting this hard. I have about 4 to 5 days of good weather. Supposedly, we'll see. Well, I had to stop what I was doing because they're very interested on kidnapping one of the hens. Come on, you gotta get in. Yeah, I had to put them all in. I was letting them free range, but yeah, they're plotting. Now, off camera, what I did was I just laid out my top and bottom plate here, took my measurement, and I marked every 16 on center. That's where my studs would be going up. And I had a shed done by the Amish, and they said it was 7-foot walls. It's a little under 7-foot walls, but I think it'll be perfect the way they did it. So I'm gonna go ahead and just do the same thing. I'm gonna cut my 2x4s at 78 inches. And once I put my bottom plate, and I'm going to put 2 on the top, that'll give me a nice height where I can still put a top shelf in the back, or a small little, I don't want to call it a loft, but a nice big shelf in the back of the wee shed is what I'm calling this. So yeah, 78 inches is what I'm gonna do. And I will be putting 2 studs on the end. You don't have to, but I really want this to be nice and strong. So I'll need 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. Okay, I have the back wall framed. Now to raise it. So for this one, what it is, once I have it nice and leveled, I just put 1 screw in there. Just don't put it too tight. You want to be able to move this. Then 2 brace in the back, so just in case when I'm lifting, that the wall doesn't slide off. So the goal is to lift the wall, not push it off. And I don't have no one here to help me, so I'm just gonna have to figure this out, and hopefully I don't drop it off the edge. Okay, just to show you my little situation. So at the bottom, I had to bring out my stud because the stone sticks out, correct? Now, at the top, I didn't account for this stone that's sticking out. So I'm gonna need to cut off this whole inch here. And then this side, I could be able to slide it all the way over and it'll be flush with our plywood. So let me just bring this back down. So it is a little more difficult when you're dealing with already an existing wall. If you see right here, the stone is touching this stud here. So I'm going to have to cut a notch out of this stud. In order for me to do this, I had to basically slide it off. I marked it. Then with the circular saw, I'm just going to keep running the saw, then chisel that out, and we should be good. A few years back, I did do a video on how to frame and basement walls when you have that type of style wall. As you can see, this house is all stone, so nothing's going to be nice and even or nice and flat. And here's what we're going for. So now we're just going to take our chisel and chisel these all out. Okay, that's what we're looking for. Hopefully that does the job. At the big box store, loading up, I got all my rafters. Well, I think I'm one short, but I'm not sure yet because I think I didn't account for above the door. These are 16 footers and for a dozen, and some 2x4s that are 12 foot long. That was another 232 bucks. It's time to get all this up on that rack by myself. Okay, got the 16 footers up on the truck. It's the next day. You see, I strapped it last night down, and here's how it's looking. It's looking good. So the back wall is framed. Now we're gonna work on the front today. And I was able to pick up the rest of the, well, all the rafters. I believe I got them all. I grabbed a couple extra for bracing, but right now I'm walking to the truck to get it back here in the yard, just to get it closer so I don't have to walk with, because I purchased 2x6 by 16 feet. Because I want a really nice overhang in the front of the shed. As I was taking the lumber off the top of the truck, it seems as though someone cranked up the heat, because it's hot now. When I started out this morning, I had a hoodie, long jeans on. I'm slowly stripping. I need this. That's more like it. I'm in the shop right now and I'm just basically drawing out what I'm about to do today. So this here is my 2x6 header. We'll just write that. And this 2x4 on both sides where the header rests on top, that's our jack studs. And now the outer 2x4, that is our king stud. We have it on both sides. Now the top 2x4, that will be our top plate. And then this one right here, that is our bottom plate. And how we're going to do this, we're going to run a board, or should I say a stud, that's a 2x4, 10 feet, nail everything together, and then we will cut this section out. That'll be our cutout. If you want to take a screenshot of that, go ahead. Also, my opening is going to be 5 feet. My understanding is if you don't have a top plate, you should be going with a 2x8 instead, if you're going 5 feet across. But because I'm going to have the 2 top plates and my 2x6, that's more than enough and perfectly fine. If you disagree, let me know. Leave it in the comment. I'm curious what you have to say, because I looked at numerous diagrams and supposedly this is perfectly fine. I don't have to go with a 2x8. And just to show you the shop that I'm in right now, this shop was built by the Amish, and this is a 6-foot opening, and I'll show you how they framed it. Let me open this up, get some better lighting. And here's what they did. All they did was 2 2x4s and 2 top studs. And this very top one, as you can see, it's not a full 2x4 on the very top. And it's been perfectly fine for the last 4 years. So if you ask me, for what I'm doing, it's overkill. Just remember, there's not a second floor to this. No one's going to be running back and forth on this roof. So this diagram is perfectly fine. So this is how we're going to build it. Now, when you get to making your header, if you don't have scrap 1/2-inch plywood, don't worry about it. This is 1/2-inch plywood here. And what you do is you sandwich it in between your 2 pieces. Get your other 2x6, sandwich your 1/2-inch plywood, and that will give you the thickness of your 2x4. As an example, I put a 2x4 right next to it, and that's how you create a perfect header. But if you don't have scrap plywood hanging around, don't worry too much about it. It's not going to change the structure in any way. Your header is not going to weaken just because you're not using it. The only thing is that you're just going to have that 1/2-inch gap. And if you're finishing the walls on the inside of your shed with drywall or tongue and groove, that's when you'll notice it. At the end of the day, I mean, it's all up to you. And unless you want to go out and purchase a $40 plywood board just to make the thickness right, it's your choice. Because if I didn't have this scrap plywood, I would just deal with it later and just probably add 1/2-inch drywall extra on that spot. Save 40 bucks. What I'm doing right now is I'm connecting the jack stud with the king stud. And for this part, I won't be using the nailer because as of right now, I still don't have the patio door that I'll be using for this project. I've already placed the order and I'm using screws just in case I need to undo it and move it 1/4 of an inch, because I'm going off the measurements that they have online. I have the front now framed. Quick tip, just always sweep your area where your wall is going to rest. You don't want to lift your new wall onto debris or a screw. Then you're wondering why is it a little bit wobbly. So just sweep that area. So I'm gonna screw 2 blocks just so when I lift it, I don't accidentally slide the wall off the floor onto the deck. You can put your plywood on before you lift your wall, but I know it's easier, but I'm by myself. Had I put the plywood on the wall, it'll get heavy really fast. But if you're not alone, go ahead and put the plywood on, because I'm not trying to blow out my back and then this project will sit here for 3 months before I get back to it. Just keep it safe. The wall is up in the air now. I'm going to start framing over here. Like this, I can square these off and tie in the front to the back. Taking some measurements, I'm going 16 on center. Don't have a full piece, so I'll be putting another piece here to connect these two together. Then I'll recreate the same one for the top, but I also have to take the measurements for the window. We are putting a window for the back side wall of this wee shed, just to get a fresh breeze in, or perhaps someday we want to put a small little AC in here, because like I said, for now it's just going to be to store random tools, but maybe later on it'll be a pool house or a nice little hangout to enjoy the view. We'll walk over to the other shed. I have 2 windows, and here's the 2 windows. This one here was given to me by my brother. He did a job and the homeowner was putting all new windows and he just wanted all the windows to match. So there's nothing wrong with this window other than it just needs a good cleaning. And the one in the back is a bigger one. This one was given to me by a friend of mine, and the issue with this window was absolutely nothing. This was a brand new window, and what happened was he gave the wrong measurements. So since that window was custom made, yeah, he had to eat that one. And then he just got tired of seeing the window in his garage and he asked me, do I want it? So it ended up in my shed. I've been holding on to this window now for 5 years, and maybe that's the one I'll choose. I'm not sure. I'll let the wife decide. Just spoke with the boss and she wants the bigger window. I'm gonna go ahead and clean this window before installing this. A little bit of Dawn and a broom. It'll be as good as new. It still has the original paperwork. It's the next day. Got up early in the morning, picked up our patio door. We purchased 2 of them. The other one is for another project. Stay tuned to see what that project is. But I'm gonna need help to get this off the truck. So my brother's coming tomorrow to give me a hand to get that off there. Because it's extra heavier because it has the wood going all the way around it. And just to show you where I left off yesterday, got the framing mostly all done. Here's where our free window's gonna go. I did the header with 2x4s since it's not such a big opening. I did do the 1/2-inch plywood. I got 1 top plate. The next one, hopefully I get it done today. Then I'm going to raise this up 2 feet. I was going to put some windows up there, but the wife said keep it simple. So I'm gonna keep it simple, because we already have the patio door, which that's plenty of sunlight to go in. The goal today is to get this area done. Gonna work on the bottom plate first. That's going to be a little tricky because I'm going to have to cut the wood in a weird way due to this wall being a stone wall. Okay, here's where we at. So I'm not looking for perfection, but I want to get it close enough. So I'm using this little tool here. So basically what you do, if you haven't seen one of these, press it up against your wall, then transfer that shape onto your 2x6. Just press in like this. If you can see there, gives you the perfect shape. On this side here, you lock your tool. Take your pencil and cut it out with a jigsaw. And there we have it. Came out good. It's not perfect, but it'll do. And just to show you where I'm at right now, my brother swung by and gave me a hand to get the patio door out of the truck. If you're purchasing a patio door and you're not ready to install it, I truly recommend get some rope, some wire, anything. Here I'm using these hooks that have a little latch here, you can see. Because just in case it gets very windy, the last thing you want is your door to slap on the floor. So make sure you prep your door just in case it does fall over. If an extension cord's all you have, use that. Don't take the chance. I also screwed one block at the bottom to prevent it from sliding out. It only takes a couple extra minutes versus the time it will take to get another patio door. And today I'll be working in this area. I want to raise this 12 inches. I did the top plate last night. Now I'll be working up here in the front. And I gotta keep it moving. I only have a few hours. I started pretty late today, but I gotta get this done. I need to get these rafters in because we are expecting rain for 4 days straight. So I took my measurements and all I need is an extra 5 inches so I could have my 12 inches. So I'm gonna take two 2x4s, put them side to side, and then another one on top, and that'll give me almost my 5 inches. I'm not going to worry about 1/8 of an inch. I'm not making furniture here. Just when I nail my 2x4 on the top, I'm just going to make it flush with the front like so. So when I put my plywood, I'll be good. But before I do that, I'm gonna run my planer all the way down. And here's how we're looking. It's nice and flush. I'm finally getting closer to the rafters. The only issue I have now is the gutter needs to move at least 1/2 inch for my rafter to clear. So I'm hoping I will be able to do that. If not, I'm going to have to make some modifications later on because there is plenty of space to move it over. I'm just not sure up top how it's going to be. I'm just going to have to get my longer ladder. And I have my first 2x6 up there. So I'm thinking of doing about 1 foot overhang in the rear and 3 feet overhang in the front. I'm gonna use this scrap to do the bird's mouth. So what you do is just lay your scrap wood there. Make sure it's nice and flush. Get your pencil. Make your mark. And that's my bird's mouth right there. And then I'll do the same thing in the front. I just did the pencil mark for the front as well. So for the front, I'm not going to leave it like that. I want a nice straight line. So I'm going to take the easy way out. I'm going to get my T-bevel and a level and take that measurement. If you're not sure how to use a speed square to find your pivot point, you can use a T-bevel. Place your level on your T-bevel, make your pencil mark, and that's your cut. Or you can also use a plumb bob, let the string dangle, then make your mark. And there's probably another dozen ways to do it, but if you know a different one, leave it in the comment. I have my first rafter cut now. It's beautiful. And here's how the front's looking. So I'm happy with these cuts. I'm gonna go ahead and use this one as the guide to do all the other rafters. I need a little break. I just finished cutting all these rafters. For the bird's mouth, I used a jigsaw and the circular saw. I'm going to need to replace that blade because it's starting to smell like it's burning. But I'm gonna go get some water, energy drink, before I start getting on the ladder and putting the rafters in place. I placed the first rafter. I'm using this bracket temporary to hold it in place so then I can nail it. But I might as well just keep it up there. Here's the other one. Then I put a block on each end so when I lift this one in place it doesn't fall over. Just so it can have something to lean on until I screw it in. What I want to do is put a string from end to end and have that string line really tight. This way when I'm putting my rafters, they'll all be in a straight line. But I'm not too worried because I did do the bird's mouth and they should just stop at the same spot. But just in case one of the bird mouths are a little bit off, the string line will let me know. Now to install my rafters, I will be using these hurricane ties. I could just go ahead and nail everything, but I'm gonna just use these for the extra support. Because where I live, we don't get hurricanes. So it's really up to you. It all depends on where you live at. Good morning. It's actually been a couple days now due to the weather. It was raining. I was able to get most of the rafters in. What I need is the one that's going to overhang about 12 inches. But before I do that, I need to get the long ladders to get up top and put 2x6s between each rafter in the front and the back. As you can see, it's looking good. It's getting there. And once I get those in, then I could work on the end piece. And after that, I could start finally putting some walls here. And the other thing is, when I'm getting rain over here, it's a little frustrating because it's time consuming to put everything away, and then the next day to bring everything out of the shed. So yeah, that just wastes about a good 30 to 40 minutes. And just to show you a little something, for this 2x6 that I put in between, we caught her a bridge. Because we did the bird's mouth, we have to also make that cut straight down across, either with a circular saw, or if you have a nice big boy like this DeWalt miter saw, you can make this cut. And before you screw it in, just make sure that it's leveled and the top is also leveled. One down, about 15 more to go. Now I decided, let me try out my planer to see if I can make that cut. And check this out. It's perfect. Because what I was doing, I will put it in, make my pencil mark, take it off, go back down. Now I don't need to do that. I'm just going to put it in place, nail it, and plane it. Today's project is to install the rest of these brace. I'm gonna put them right above the 2x4s just to transfer the load. I have my 12-inch overhang on the side and on the rear. But today's big project is I decided to install the house wrap. At first I wasn't going to install the house wrap, but just in case in the near future we want to turn this into something other than just a shed. Excuse me, we're trying to film over here. You're making too much noise. Because we are high off the ground, so we can install plumbing. But for now, it's just going to be a wee shed. I went with the Lowe's brand because it's $40 cheaper. Not sure about the quality, but you'll find out in this video. Well, last night I was working in the dark. I started putting up the house wrap, but I'm not done. But it's unfortunate that it's raining, so not going to be able to finish this. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do something else today. I was hoping to get the taping, but I'm not sure if that'll be a good idea because it's a little wet. I didn't get to cover the roof. The plywood's all wet, but that's why I treated the plywood, because the weather's just unpredictable. So to be continue until the rain stops. And just show you what I'm up to right now. Making dinner early so I can get some work done. Got some mussels, crabs, potato, corn. Handyman could cook. I started doing the house wrap. Unfortunately, it started to rain and I had to stop. But today I'll be able to start taping. And when I say taping, use the house wrap tape, not duct tape. Once I got everything taped, then I'll start the flashing tape. And this will be for the window and the entrance where the patio door goes. And for your tip of the day, if you're installing your house wrap horizontal, you'll need at least a 4 to 6 inch overhang. If you're installing the house wrap vertical, you're going to need a 6 to 12 inch overhang. But let me start this now. Just so you know too, they do sell these nails with plugs. You can use that as well, but you can staple this. But if your project is going to sit for weeks and weeks and you only stapled it, well, then there's a good chance that your house wrap's going to just tear off. That's why they do sell these special nail plugs. I don't know what they call them, but they're for house wraps. But my goal is to get these walls up ASAP. Here's what we're going with. I believe I have enough. First things first, let's put our tape. I have all the house wrap tape on now. As you can see, it was a little tight getting the ladder in. Before I started this project, I did take this into consideration to make sure that the ladder was going to fit. Because how else would I be able to do the walls and maintenance? I'm not sure if I explained this, but when you install your house wrap, you want to start from the bottom. Like this, you can do your overlap. If you start from the top, then you're going to have to tuck the house wrap in, which is more difficult, if that makes sense. So it's taped. I didn't film me taping. I didn't want to bore you. All I did was just put the tape. And the next step will be flashing. I started using this frog tape flashing tape, and I must say this was worth every penny. It sticks well, a little too well, because it's hard to work with because it sticks so good, and it's also very stretchy. So when I get to the window, I can really stretch and pull it and wrap it on the opposite side. See, it has a line straight down the middle. Just get your razor blade and run it down that line so you can have your two pieces. Making some chicken stir fry before I start working. Well, it's been several days since the last you saw me putting on the house wrap tape and the flashing tape. I had put the tarp up because I got rained out. It was just raining for several days. But because it was also windy, the tarp was pretty much pointless. As you can see right here, I got at least 2 gallons of water right there. But like I said, this is the reason why I treated the plywood floor. Because I'm building this alone and I know I'm not gonna build it like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this part 5 video of the wee shed. Tune in, part 6 will be me putting these T111. And just to give you a sneak peek, yes, I'm putting them horizontal. And that's just to give it a nice modern look. Part 6 of this build will be me installing the T111 and the roof. I'll be using a newer product that's out for the roof. I'm gonna test it out and I'll give you my thoughts of what I think. It's not the zip system, it's something else. If you want to continue watching this build, subscribe so you can see part 6 of this build. Thank you for watching. So what you think, Summer? You approve? Doing your inspections? And just to show you my wife's project, she got bananas. Look at that. Another whole batch of bananas are growing. Yes, so her project really got bigger than what we expected. This banana plant right here, it's about 25 feet in the air. As you can see, she's already getting a bunch of little babies here. 1, 2, 3, and these just came out 2 weeks ago. Look how big they are. We also put some near the shed as well, and another one near the chicken coop, just to give the girls some shade. We have another one starting here. Subscribe to see the start and finish of this project.